about.
You call that radio?
Makes coherent sense.
It's You Call That Radio. We are live with the Seas of Mirth, who are going to be performing this Thursday night at Audio in Glasgow. And I think we can go live to Al of Seas of Mirth right now, who I believe is on a boat somewhere.
Correct. Hey, Mark. How you doing, man?
I'm very well. Thank you for joining us on your boat. And, you know, I thought the Seas of Mirth was a mythology. I thought it was metaphors. But here you are, live from a boat.
Yeah, totally, man. The real deal.
What came first, the boat or the band name?
Definitely the band name. Yeah, we've actually been going for about probably over 15 years in various different incarnations. I think it came from you're probably not far off there, some sort of like mythical poetry. I think it's I can't remember the poet, but I think the line is a tiny bubble of laughter, I am become the sea of mirth itself. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it goes. But I didn't think of it. Our man Paul did, the other guitarist. Yeah. And then the band kind of rolled in with gradual members, and then it kind of snowballed from there, really. It's been a hoot ever since, man.
And I was just reading an interview there that you were more piratey, but you're sort of trying to get away from the pirate thing.
That's right. Yeah, we've kind of gone sub-aquatic these days. In the last sort of 5 years, we our third album, Submarine Dreams, that was like the turning point. We kind of like explored all the way we can with all the ideas and everything over surface, and we were like, let's proper challenge ourselves now and get a little bit more sensory, get a bit more engaging with people in the crowd. We made some befriended some LED jellyfish posse. And a giant octopus called Les Holmes, who's made of LED and like synthetic kind of fabric, and it became more of a lot more of an interactive show, and we're better off for it because it reflects our ideas of music more. And I think like a lot of the parallel I like about the underwater world is there's a lot of the unknown in there, and it's also like one of the biggest discos in the world with a lot of the aquatic creatures and all them funky patterns and trippy lights and stuff like that. So yeah, we like it down there.
Well, I'm going to put on for anyone who's listening to this as an audio podcast, just to describe what's happening. I've put on my video on in the background, and I'm assuming this is from Lindisfarne Festival.
Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah.
Shout outs to How Do Bean. Don't sue me for using your footage. I'm sure she won't. I'm sure they won't. How Do Bean.
Totally.
A good friend of the show. But then we can see the octopus that you speak of. Your octopus is called Les.
Yeah. It's got to be called something, hasn't it?
So we're witnessing a giant octopus having a dance. I would say. I imagine the octopus is having fun at your gig.
Mate, it's having an absolute whale of a time. Yeah. There's someone in there who's kind of controlling him. And then one person per leg. It's a great way of getting lots of your mates into festivals as well. So you're like, we need one person to drive the octopus, and then and it pays off because it's a hit.
I recognise the jellyfish. I seen them I'm sure it's the same jellyfish at Equinox Festival a couple of weeks ago. Could that have been the same people?
Oh, right. So that would be the jiggling jellyfish. Yeah. So we're kind of affiliated with them. We kind of align with them sometimes when they're in the same sort of field as us, or kicking around in the same parts of the UK when we're on tour. They're awesome. They make amazing jellyfish, and lots of fun times with them. They were at Equinox this year, were they? Yeah, cool. We were there. No, the year before last or something like that.
Yeah.
Then we all
my band was playing on Friday night, and I've got some footage. I'm actually just nearly finished editing. It was a great a great time at Equinox Festival. So jellyfish are all friends with each other. There's no jellyfish rivalry between opposing jellyfishes from other postcodes of the sea.
Not that I know of, man. Yeah, no. They're all tentacularly entwined.
On the topic of pirates, interestingly, I know that you're friends with Roberta Pia, who I'm friends with, and I actually remember booking Roberta Pia for an international pirate day many years ago, and it was her band, the Banana Sessions, who were fantastic, and they were always a little bit priority.
Yeah. Because I vaguely remember that back in the days of like MySpace. We're going way back now. Show my age probably. But yeah, we met Bob at the night in Bristol we recently did, and DJing was supreme. It was really cool, and yeah, really nice person. Dead good, dead sound to get along with.
Shouts to Bob all day, every day.
Yeah, totally.
And so the Nottingham, are you based in Nottingham now, or is that just where you're from originally? Where is the geography of the band when you're on the sea or on the sea?
Basically, nowhere near the sea. That's yeah. This is kind of like a therapy from being so landlocked. Lots of people are not. Yeah, few in Nottingham, a couple in Derby, one in Leicester. Yeah, you can't get much more landlocked than that. The holy triangle of the East Midlands, basically.
With regards to the gig this Thursday, is there a spoiler alert? Will there be jellyfish there? Will there be octopuses, octopi? Is octopi
more than one octopus? I sincerely doubt that. Yes. We'll see. I'm not sure what audio's like size wise, but it might be a little bit of a squish for our Les. But definitely going to bring a squadron of jellyfish. Do you know what the collective term for jellyfish is? You know, the collective noun. You know, like a murder of crows equivalent. It's a smack of jellyfish.
A smack of jellyfish.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that smack means heroin up here. I don't know if that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you do. Is it smack?
Yeah.
Is it smack?
On Thursday, it will mean jellyfish. I assure you. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's always a good time at Audio. In fact, we've just booked a gig for Slay, which is the run by the same people. So Audio is usually good crack. It's right next to crack as in banter, not crack as in drunk. Just to clarify our cracks. There'll be a smack of jellyfish and it'll be good crack. The YouTube robots will be like, hey, we need to take this down. But so it's the same. How is the tour going? Where have you been, and where else are you still to go?
We've kind of been at it since we released our latest album, Kriller. Yeah, pun intended. Just like a disco album about, psychedelic disco, lots of different musical influences, but with the visual centered around coral and shrimp, stuff like that. So yeah, we've been taking that album on tour ever since we released it last September. So yeah, like I said, we've been up to Scotland once already. We've been to Edinburgh, and we've been up the northern parts of England, like Carlisle, and we're about to hit Newcastle after the Glasgow date. But yeah, we've been everywhere. Lots of festivals this year, and we've got about 7 dates this autumn, which is a decent spread around the UK, I like to think.
It's a good time to go on tour straight after festival season, because obviously the band will be tight. They will have played all the festivals. But me personally, we just did a gig on Saturday there, and just after the end of the festival season, I'm quite glad to just have a month off just now. Do the pros outweigh the cons with just going straight on a tour after you've done all the festivals?
I think so, because some of the best festivals are in September, like you say. Equinox is a total banger. It's some of the best people are there. And the weather usually turns out like proper, like a proper scorcher in like mid-September. Remember, the last few times we went, it was like, proper t-shirt weather. We were warm little bunnies.
We got lucky as well for Equinox. I think it was raining the Thursday before it, but then by the time we got there, the sun was out, and we were happy. And the Lindisfarne was the same this year. I think it was torrential rain the week before. I'm sure the build crew won't agree on it being good weather, and I think it was raining as we left. But the sun shined upon the actual festival itself.
There you go.
So where have you been this summer, and who's been your highlight of this summer?
This summer, Beat Herder. That was a good one. Then we played 2 shows there. Yeah, that was it. It was amazing. Yeah, really banging crowd. Lots of people we knew as well. So yeah, great to catch up with people. And then we love playing to unsuspecting audiences as well. Like some of our songs are like quite tickly, very rhythmical, often confusing, but in a good way. So it's just to see like a swarm of people going, hang on, what's going on here? But also like moving their hips and shoulders at the same time. That was probably the best example of when that happened this summer. We went to Maui Wowie, one in Norfolk as well. That was a cool one. Really cool festival. I'd thoroughly recommend.
Yeah, I've just heard cool people tell me about this. I've never been myself, but you know, I've heard people like Captain Barrett, who's always got his finger on the pulse. So it's kind of the music. I'm getting the vibe, but it's because I didn't recognise a great deal with the lineup. But I think it's a lot of international performers and just sort of cool stuff going on.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. Yeah, good size as well. Like there's similar size to Equinox. Plenty of good sites to see. Good mix of music. Great people. That's what you want on a festival. Yeah, and somewhere that does halloumi fries as well.
And you're also in a band called the Illuminati, or is it someone else that's in the band called Illuminati?
No, yeah. I'm in that as well. Yeah. We haven't played for a while. We haven't released anything for a while, but the band still lives. It's just a matter of when it gets back together, I'm sure. Yeah, it's people are dads, people are teachers, people are doing other projects and stuff like that. So it's kind of on standby, I like to think. Yeah.
Well, I think we'll play a tune just now. Is there a song I can play off of YouTube just now? Maybe a music video or something I can play for people that might not be familiar with your tunes at all. Because so far the descriptions have ranged from underwater aquafunk to what was the other one? What was the most recent one that you've settled on?
Have you settled on it? We never like to settle on anything because we don't like to get too complacent with our genres. We always like to keep it moving and wiggling, basically. A wet funk was one, but that's not really progressing from what you just said, really. I don't know. Lots of the
word aquatic was there. The word aquatic was in it. I'm pretty sure it was an aquatic.
Yeah.
It was used.
Subaquatic psychedelic nonsense, probably.
Subaquatic psychedelic. That sounds great. Okay, so what song could be line up here?
I'd say a good intro to our band is Dig Out the Moves because it starts the latest album, Kriller, and it's also a staple of our live shows. So we're definitely going to play it on Thursday. Put it that way.
Brilliant. Okay, I'm setting up just now. And how did this song come about? How do you write the songs? Is it different every time? Do you remember how this song came about?
Yeah, it was one of those tunes that came together in lockdown. We had just loads of time to just fanny about with guitar licks and lyrical twaddle, basically. It was. So it was originally called Disco in Furlough. So it was written about something that you just totally couldn't do at the time, to go out and go to a disco and party your head off, basically. So it was kind of like written for, when that stuff happens again, we'll be landing with that tune, and that's totally what happened. About a year later, and it was ace. So we've been playing it ever since, and it's always gone down really well. So Dig Out the Moves, previously called Disco in Furlough.
Great stuff. Let us know what you think in the comments. This is Dig Out the Moves.
and dig out the moves. Yeah, no one else is gonna do that for ya. It's gonna move. Go on, put a finger up. Dig out the moves. Yeah, look it up. I'm ready to move. Woo. There's no way out of the circle, but an impossible, medical, nothing to kick up a cacophonic view. Just shows your moves. So definitely find your high horse with a double and 91 supper bar triangulated by lateral grooves. I mean, when I miss some groove. Alright, hold tight.
Brilliant stuff. Dig Out the Moves by Seas of Mirth, who are with
I've
us.
not actually seen that video in so long, man. Nice one. Yeah.
A cracking video. A cracking video.
Thanks, man.
And we've got some comments coming in from definitely got the funk, which is EP Mew. And also he also thanked us for the great evening at Room 2. Yeah, we had our 5th birthday party for the channel on Saturday at Room 2, and it was a good night. I wish we had a bit more time though. I feel like we managed to fit 5 acts in. I wish we could play it went on a wee bit later. And also, apologies if the after party I didn't get the tunes right this time. We took a chance on a different DJ to do all the work for a change, and it certainly wasn't the kind of music that you would normally expect from our after parties. But I enjoyed it anyway. I hope you did too. And definitely got the funk. Stuart says looks like a fun gig. Yeah, it is. I mean, we've been just showing those visuals. How important is it to bring that visual aspect to the live show?
Mate, yeah. It's kind of parallel to the music, really. We kind of make the music to match those visuals. It's synonymous, really. It's totally music that you'd expect to jiggle a tentacle to, or like twizzle a jellyfish to. That sort of vibe. Or like just let off a load of bubbles to, basically. Yeah.
And do you have a favourite city? Obviously, you're probably going to need to say Glasgow since you're playing there next. But have you played Glasgow before, or is there a favourite city that you like to go to?
This is going to be our first time in Glasgow. With first time with Seas of Mirth anyway. We played with Illuminati once at the old art studio, I think, something like that. It was for an old Balkan night called Balkanorama. I don't know if they still do that night.
No, I know. Well,
you know that.
At the art school. Yep. Absolutely.
They still happen.
Well, they are happening. The Balkanorama is happening. I noticed that they did something at Edinburgh Fringe just recently.
Sweet.
A few people were saying, but unfortunately, the venue, the art school, had a lot of problems. There's been a lot of fires. Basically, it went on fire one time. That get fixed. I think it's the building next that's on fire. The building's okay.
Yeah.
We were in there for a gig maybe about a year ago now, and it looked like it was reopening. And we were all very excited because it's a cracking space. Downstairs bars quite small, and then upstairs is massive. So it's a good space for it. And Balkanrama's nights were always legendary. But I don't know exactly what's going on there. I know that the ABC has been the venue next to it is been demolished today, so it's quite a sad day for Glasgow music, because they used to bring in even bigger acts. But yeah, let us know if anyone knows. I'm actually curious as well. I think that they're just doing a lot of work to it, but it does kind of exist, but not back properly, is the long answer to your easy question.
Yeah.
So yeah, Balkanrama is still about, and art
Cool,
school's
good to
not
know.
being used the way it used to be. But yeah, that
Right.
would be great. So was that Illuminati? Was that more kind of Balkan sounding? How did that come about?
Yeah, not exactly Balkan. Not you're more like this. The similar sort of modes you would have in like Eastern European music, mixed with lots of different styles and different influences. No, not too dissimilar from our influences in Seas of Mirth, because we had overlapping members. Sally, the keyboardist, my partner, is also a member. So yeah, but going back to cities, which cities are our favourite? Was that the question? I can't remember.
Yeah, that was a
Something
question.
like that.
Yep.
Yeah. I say, yeah, Nottingham's always a great cracks. That's a hometown. Derby as well. Full of our regular usual suspects. Having it out on the dance floor, having it large. Sheffield's always a crack, always good crack. They absorb us well. To put it that way, yeah. We played there for Tramlines this summer, and yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, absolutely packed. Full on sensory enjoyment and big moves on the dance floor. That's what we like to see. That's what you've seen in the video, obviously. And yeah, Manchester always go for it as well. We love playing in Manchester. We got one coming up in there for a Halloween kind of Beyond the Grave rave as part of the festival organisers and called Not a Cult. Which is an awesome festival, and it's also ran by Molly from Ask My Bull, a great band who we used to playing with a lot. Sometimes she joins us on stage. So yeah, it's a very familiar and very full on good vibes crew that we like to play for. Those are the sort of gigs we love to do with the best people.
How is Derby? Because I've never really been to Derby, but we did play Bearded Theory.
Cool.
We played that at the beginning of the summer, and I kept on getting mixed up. I kept on calling it Beat Herder. I don't know why. I mean,
the same
they're very different.
opening three letters.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
It's too close. So I think I've got over that, because I did say Bearded Theory. So that means if we do play Beat Herder next year, then it will be called Bearded Theory in my world.
Beard Herder, maybe. Yeah.
Bearded Herder.
I like the idea of that. Yeah. What stage was that on Bearded Theory then? Was
we were in the Convoy Cabaret, who were very
cool, man. Yeah. That's a cool crew as well.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
brilliant.
If you can hear that, that's just the current situation with the weather on the River Trent.
Yeah, I could hear something.
Yeah. Serious downpour, deluge, mate. Yeah, proper.
Can you drive your boat to any gigs? Is there anywhere that's on route that you could just drive a boat to? Could you go on a boat tour, or is everything landlocked?
We could. We technically could, but yeah, we don't. Yeah. That's where our hardcoreness lacks a little bit, man. I've got a few mates that do it. They're based around the Midlands.
What's the problem? Is it too much? Is it not cost efficient, or is it just too much hard work, or why wouldn't?
It's not the hard work. It's the gear that you would need on the boat to get there as well. Like lots of our heavy gear is not on the boat. Our boat's it's a little tiddler. It's like 37 feet or something like that. Just enough for the two of us to sit comfortably and have a nice bed, and that's it. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to in theory. We've got kayaks, so we kayaked to a gig earlier this year. That we went playing it, but yeah, it's just that sort of the romance of it, like it's this. There's nothing quite like it.
Did you park your kayak for the night, or did you kayak back?
Nah, just rocked up and then kayaked back, and then got back about 3 a.m.
That is pretty good going.
Mentally and physically knackered. I think it was canoe. Yeah, it was canoe. So yeah, even more pressure on your elbows and shoulders. Yeah, keeps fit and healthy.
And I've actually, do you know what? I've got a message from Soapy who's saying I was to tell you about a since you are representing Nottingham, there is a documentary, and an author is wanting to talk to Nottingham bands about making music from Nottingham. It's I think it's a TV documentary. I'm going to send you some information about that because the only Nottingham band I could think of that we've had in the show before is Sleaford Mods. So
Cool.
who else is what's happening in Nottingham that we should know about?
Trying to think who else is from Knots. Yeah, Sleaford Mods is probably the biggest, most successful in the few years. But there's some great there's some great bands from Nottingham. That we played with before. Lots of cool sort of indie psychedelic bands. There's a band called Midnight Rodeo. They're really cool. Sancho Panza, they're another one. Very sort of like almost like 60s vibes mixed with current psychedelia, big funky grooves as well. There's lots of like sort of synthy stuff as well. There's a band called Revenge of Calculon who dress up like Nacho Libras. And they just rock around on synths and drums, and it's a good vibe, definitely. There's so many that I can think of, and I'm sure by the time we disconnect I'd have thought about 10 more.
That's fine.
Later down the line. That's the way it goes, man. But it's a good sign. It's a good sign. Like there's a lot of diversity, and lots of cool stuff, lots of city festivals. It's definitely it's probably the most in my opinion, it's probably the most happening city in the Midlands, I reckon. Challenge me on that if you're from Birmingham or Stoke or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I've been to Stoke before, and I would when I was there, it was many years ago though, it wasn't very happening. I remember that was the first time that I'd been aware of how much towns were kind of being franchised, or for lack of a better word, maybe I don't even know if gentrification is the right word, because it was just like the names of all the pubs were the same as Glasgow. Do you know, you had your O'Neill's pub, and then you had your Wetherspoons, and it just felt like you could be in any city, in any town. In the UK.
There's a cool place in Stoke called Captain's Bar. That's run by some of the band called Stingray. Funk band. Really cool dudes. I don't know a lot more about Stoke, but there you go.
Yeah. So they're
it's a weird one because it's like 5 or 6 towns connected up, making the city. That's my visual description of it. I'm kind of like,
for all the audio podcast listeners, a hand was put up to the screen at that point. So Stingray, are they? Did you meet them underwater from the underwater scene?
Oh yeah, totally. No, actually, I met them at Equinox Festival. It was going back to the Guild Equinox again. Met jamming around a fire, and then a gig happened out of it, and then they've come to Knots, and we've been to Stoke. So I just part of playing. Part of what I love about playing is just meeting so many other cool bands, and connecting with them, playing gigs with them, seeing them at festivals. It's just seeing I love, absolutely love.
Who's the coolest band you've ever met? We've got a name drop button especially for it.
Oh, coolest musician I've ever met, probably Les Claypool from Primus. I met him once.
The name drop.
You call that radio?
Get the name drop out there for Primus. Absolutely.
Yes, mate.
It was. Wait, music. Oh yeah, tell us the story. Sorry.
Yeah, no. It was. I went to see one of his solo shows in Germany, and I kind of knew the support band, so I was hanging out with them. And then Les rocked up, and he was like, "Hey, want to see him? Want to see my tour bus?" And we were like, "Yeah, okay." And then, and inside, I was like, "Oh my god, it's Les Claypool! Wow!" I just shook Les Claypool's hand. Whoa, yeah, proper like starstruck. I can't help it. That's just the way I go when I meet people like that. But anyway, we're in his tour bus, and it's like lots of blue lights everywhere, very sort of like very garish, and kind of a bit of je ne sais quoi about it. And all I could say to one of my heroes of music throughout a lot of my life was like, "Hey Les, do you ever change the colours on this tour bus, or are you just blue?" And he was like, "Nah, blue's cool." And that was it. And then I was like, "Right, okay, cool, see you later." All the things I could have said, but well.
I tend to just keep it brief now when I meet someone like that as well. Just I like your new album. Bye.
Yeah.
'Cause, otherwise,
Yeah.
I do.
If I
regret it
went
the
down
next
that
time.
road, I would have totally brown nosed him. So it's probably a good
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And what is, I suppose that's obviously that's been a musical inspiration of you somehow. So let's go back to that. When did you start performing music, and what are the bands that inspired you to start doing it?
I started before. I've been performing since I was a teenager. And when I grew up in Worcester, another part of the Midlands, but like a bit more like past Birmingham. And yeah, there was a bit. Yeah, I played a little bit of heavy metal and attempted to be in a screamo band and sounded like a chinchilla, dying one at that. And then yeah, I moved up here and then played with more musicians and just sort of kind of everything kind of sprawled. And then yeah, I met Paul. It was a massive co-enjoyer of lots of my favorite music. Yeah, and we I think the thing about me and Paul, we love to just take the mickey out of so much music, and that's kind of how Mirth began. We're kind of just parodying lots of things, like stuff we like. You know, we're massive Radiohead fans, for example. But yeah, I mean, like we'll always just stick a subtle Radiohead reference that's also a kind of dig at their music as well. There's a tune in the latest album called Bobbit, about like a bobbit worm that kind of just jumps out of the sand on the bed of the ocean. But yeah, there's the tune ends with like loads of different vocal layers, and there's one vocal that's just like, let's just sing everything in a monotone. Let's just sing everything in a monotone. Yeah, there's a total dig on Tom York. I hope he doesn't mind.
I don't think he will mind. I don't think he'll mind.
Exactly.
I think
he'd appreciate it.
he's got a great sense of humour. I think
so.
Fine.
Yeah.
I think so. I do love a bit of Radiohead as well. But when I'm in the mood for it, obviously. But absolutely,
You got to be in the mood for it. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
In the mood is either very happy or very sad. If
Yeah.
you're in the middle, it's not. If you're in the middle, it's not for you.
Sad music is there to make you happy as well. It's just if you get the endorphins from it, that's what matters.
Yeah, I think there's something about, especially if it reminds you of being sad many years ago, and you're like, I don't know, it feels like it does feel quite good because you're like, well, I got through that. I can get through anything. Although
Exactly.
you might not have been, you might be under much worse pressure now. So then I don't know, but I do like a sad. I do like a sad album that got me through something in the past. It does make you feel good. I totally
Exactly.
agree with that. What is it?
You came out of it and you got the range of emotions, man. It's important. Yeah.
What's album that you put on to make you feel happy?
Probably some Zappa, I guess. I got into him as a teenager, and there's loads of silly lyrics out there. Usually, just like I'm gonna have to say the best of Frank Zappa. If you ask me an album.
Well, I'm a fan of Frank Zappa, obviously the musician, and I loved all the interviews he did when he was fighting against censorship and stuff like that. There's some amazing stuff that stands up to this day. I think this was this would be the 80s, the Satanic Panic, and Frank Zappa, it's him up against like an evangelical Christian in the 80s. So there's some really good stuff. I think they're on a talk show or something, which is great. But I mean, I've got shout-outs to Tam the fan. He's a Zappa fan. He plays it on our tour bus, which is a van, and sometimes it's not the time or the place for it. Sometimes it's a bit too much for me, especially if I've smoked something I shouldn't have smoked. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, because that can be the perfect storm sometimes, man. So the next services. Yeah.
So I mean, do you when it comes to the live show, do you what do you need to do before the live show? Is there do you have to have a beer before you go on stage? Do you have to do a meditation? I know that's very popular now. Is there a thing that you need to do before?
Beer is meditation for me a little bit. Yeah. I like to. I've had 2 and 1 on stage. Yeah. And I need water just before I go on. So we can gargle. So the live show starts with like a harmonic chorus of gargles, basically. Yeah, it sets the tone for the silliness of the set. Yeah, you're locked in, you're zoned in by that point.
Is there not one part of you that wants to laugh as you gargle and you're not worried about
It's happened
the
before,
damage?
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll happen again. There's sometimes where I choke on the water and then it dribbles down my beard and then I get all sorts of jeers from the crowd. Yeah.
So,
You've got to be vulnerable in these moments, man. Yeah.
hydration is also important as well. So
Absolutely.
it's key when you're losing so much water on stage by putting on a live performance. And I've actually just got we'll put another song on just now as well. What would be your second introduction to Seas of Mirth?
Very good question. So we got to dig out the moves. I'll probably Ticky Tack.
Ticky Tack. And
Let's
that's
find it. So it's a tune that's how can I say it's multilingual. And the basically the context behind it is 4 divers who have been sent down on a task. They run into problems. It sounds familiar, really, with the news that happened last year. But I guarantee you that it wasn't related to that. It was written first, and then the Titan sub story came out in the news after that. So completely coincidental. But anyway, they can't speak any of the same languages as each other, so they fall into a big communication breakdown, and it all goes south from there. But it's also a guaranteed party banger.
Is it okay to play the live version from the Mars Bar in Worcester?
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm not familiar with that version, but yeah, I mean, that's
Okay,
you get a good vibe. Yeah, do it, man. Yeah, nice one.
Let's do a live one. Hold on, I'll turn the volume down a little bit. Just let me know in the comments if it's not too. If it's all right. It's You Call That Radio, and we are live with Alf of Seas of Mirth, and they are playing Audio Glasgow this Thursday, the 10th of October. if you're listening to this before the 10th of October. And if you're listening to the future, then there's a link tree there. We say link tree, but it's actually a linked.ee, and all the band's music and upcoming tour dates are going to be there. We've got a person who we've got. Hello, Louis. Hello, everyone. Greetings from Durban, South Africa. Hello to South Africa. Stuart says that's so cool, and Epi says I love a bit of Frank Zappa now and again, and if I mate this nuts for Dweezil.
That's his son, isn't it? Dweezil Zappa.
I don't know.
Yeah. He named his son. Named his son Dweezil, and
that's one way to make sure that it becomes a rock star.
Yeah. Not many other pathways linked up for that name.
I worked in a lot of call centers, and there was, "Hi, my name is Dweezil Zappa, and I'm calling from insert corporate thing." There, yeah, as Dweezil Zappa, who's 55 years old. Who's 55?
Yeah. So it's I think he still tours with Zappa, plays Zappa. So one of the classic artists who's now their music has survived by their offspring on tour. I can't think of any other. I think John Bonham was another one when Led Zepp got back together. You had John Bonham's son on the drums.
The same thing happened to the Eagles. I took my dad to the Eagles a few years ago, and it was Joe's son. I thought he's called Joe, but yeah, he filled in. I think it's a good way of doing it. Just
for sure. Keep the vibes alive.
And just change them every time someone passes away. You get the son comes in, and you can just keep the band going on forever. Yeah, it's the grandsons.
Yeah.
And the band never ever stops. But when it comes to touring,
get to like third generation.
What's your rules for touring? What advice would you give to bands that are maybe just thinking about going on tour or embarking on their first tour? Is there any hard and fast rules how to survive that environment?
Eat lots of fruit and veg. That's the first one, definitely. Get a van that has been through just very basic safety checks. We did one tour of Holland a few years ago, and the exhaust tore apart by the time, before we hit Dover, really, and it just sounded like a helicopter, basically, especially if we were going through some of those tunnels in Europe. It was like everyone could hear it. We got pulled over by the cops, and they were like, "Yeah, this just not legal, you know." We're pretending that you can't hear it. Don't pretend. Everyone can hear it. I can hear it. You can hear it. We had to. But yeah, the good thing was that there was very kind people in Holland who were looking after us, and one guy was a mechanic, and he basically bodged it together, which lasted the rest of the tour. So yeah, I'd say definitely get a real adult to check your vehicle just beforehand. Just buy one the week before, and then and hope for the best. Yeah, we survived that tour by the skin of our teeth. But you know,
what is the general? I mean, how's Brexit affected touring, or has it?
I couldn't tell. I mean, I couldn't tell you from experience because we've not attempted to go on tour in Europe since the Brexit hammer. Yeah, I mean, some of our mates do, and I think you just got to be very sort of very casual about it and try and go with a less suspicious gear as possible. I say suspicious gear, I mean like amps and drums and stuff like that. It's like contrabands. I'm not the best person to ask because I've not tried it, but I think I've heard from similar bands that say you can't sell merch because it counts as sales and
I've heard you've got to if you bring 20 t-shirts, you need to give them the government the money for the 20 t-shirts, and then you get a refund at the other side if you've not sold them on your way back and things like that. So I suppose barcodes. Take flyers with barcodes on them so that people can buy it off Bandcamp. But you know yourself, that's not really it doesn't really work that way. People are excited.
Yeah.
Maybe the first 5-10 minutes you come off stage, they want to buy a T-shirt from you. And
Exactly.
they want to put
That's
it
the
on.
that's
Then it's not
the
the same
golden
thing.
strike while the iron's hot
It's like,
moment,
oh,
isn't it?
yeah,
Man?
I'll
That's what
get
I'm saying.
it tomorrow on Bandcamp when they've got a hangover and they realise how much money
No.
they spent. It doesn't work.
Yeah, no, people very rarely remember that. Yeah, and then you got the postage costs like saps like another 5 or 7 quid on top for postage. It's not the same. It's not the same. Yeah,
Well, we've got
it's
advice from
farcical.
Coconut 0500 says, well, you can have a minimum donation with a T-shirt reward. Well, maybe there's a raffle grey area. I don't know. But if we go next year to tour anywhere, we'll be sticking to the rules and there'll be no raffles or minimum donations. We'll be doing it by the book for anyone watching. We'll be doing it by the book, by the law of the land, the land of the UK, the God Save the King and all that. Coconut says, Ask My Bill just got onto you guys through them. Is Ask My Bill a band that you know, or Bill a person that you know? I don't know if
Ask My Bull. Yeah, I mean,
Ask
like
My
Ask
Bull.
My Bill could be a tribute band, maybe. I don't know. They're that successful already.
So Ask
Who
My
knows?
Ball. Ask My Ball. You mentioned earlier on. What's Ask My Ball?
Kind of, they could describe themselves as flamboyant jazz punk, and it's totally that. Yeah. And that's a good entry level description for them. There's plenty of their music that you could just sort of really just
Ask
tuck
My
in,
Bull.
and then
Sorry, Ask My Bull.
as in yeah,
All
yeah.
right, okay, cool. Sorry, it's just that
Yeah.
there's an accent thing going on here between us both.
I
Ask
think so.
My
Yeah.
Bull, Ball. I thought it was Ball, but
Bull. Yeah.
Bull. Right, got you. So some flamboyant jazz punk. That sounds interesting. And
Totally.
Epi's confirmed that yes, he tours his dad's stuff, but also his own work too. And yeah, so for festival season, you've got a few more tours. You've got Glasgow, you've got Newcastle. What can we expect from the Seas of Mirth between now and the new year of 2025?
These dates, and then or else actually, I think we got some remixes that have been crafted together by some very, very crafty, talented people we know. We might drop a few of those before the turn of the festive era. And then we won't be back on stage again until April. It's the next gig we've got booked. I'm going to Thailand basically. I'm escaping for the worst part of the winter from January till April.
I did that myself this year.
So.
That's exactly what I did for November to March or something like that. For Mexico, I
Good
went to.
shout, man.
It was great. It was expensive, but it was good. I'm glad I did it. But yeah, maybe the idea was to hopefully go to Thailand this year myself, but it's just not going to be possible. Maybe next year, next winter, escape again. I mean, if I could escape every second winter, then I would be very happy. So,
yeah. The older I'm getting, the more I need that winter sun hit, even if it's like a week in Tenerife or whatever it is, man.
Usually I've been quite good. You were usually so busy the rest of the year, and I love Scotland and England and the UK in the summer anyway. I love going to Ireland, and it's a great place to be in the summer. It's just really
definitely.
It's usually about January after the festive season dies down that it is just good. And yeah, like you said, Tenerife, your Canary Islands are usually quite a cheap way of getting away and getting 20 degrees sunshine. Or maybe more if you're lucky, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got like 24 degrees, but loads of wind. So just like it's just like an island of lost hats everywhere. Like.
But yeah, it's amazing. So, have you been to Thailand before, or is this a new adventure?
This is a new adventure for me and Sally. Yeah. We've been on about it for a while, but we finally got everything in place, everything in gear. And we booked off like to Bangkok, and then we're going to travel towards Vietnam, and then we booked off like back from Hanoi. So that's our winter sabbatical lined up. Yeah, I think we've earned it because we've been touring a lot. So yeah. I mean, we've been committed to touring through the winter as well, which is a noble thing to do in today's climate of live music. It just show the venues all the love. Go to gigs in the winter if you can, and the summer as well. I know everyone goes to festivals in the summer, but these venues need their support all year round. So yeah, It's rich coming from me. Go to Southeast Asia for 3 months, but you know what I mean.
You've done your bit. You've done your bit. You deserve your breakaway. What venues, if you could wave a magic wand, which venues need to be saved that you would go, I couldn't live without it. We need to keep that one. Have you got a top 3 venues off the top of your head?
What ones that are
just venues that you like
publicly kind of struggling a little bit, or
well, they might not be struggling. Just your 3 top venues. So either as a performer or just as a punter, venues that you love watching your favourite bands in.
Yeah, the Hairy Dog in Derby. That's a good local one. It's a massive venue. It's like 400 cap or something like that. I mean, definitely. If you really find yourself in the Midlands, go to that venue. It's grand, and yeah, the sound's fantastic. But yeah, people are good, beer's good. Yeah, especially if you're into more heavier stuff like your rock and metal and punk stuff like that. That's a great venue for that. What else? A three. So yeah, 2 more. Hang on. Manchester Old Abbey Tap House. It's another one. It's an outdoor venue, so it's like a festival environment under canvas. We played there, right, in hindsight, probably quite stupidly at the end of November, where it was absolutely Baltic, mate. And yeah, we had to wear our thermals on stage. Yeah, I'm not really selling it actually. To be not selling that well, but yeah, if you get the optimum temperature, it's an absolute cracking vibe. You're brilliant in the sort of like south end of Manchester. Pool area, I think, and one more. What venue? The Moon in Cardiff. Really cool venue. That the live music scene in Cardiff. It's like the running joke that it's just kind of just one street. So you got the Fuel Rock Bar, Clubby for back, and the Moon. We played the Moon loads of times. The staff are totally legendary. Plenty of good times had at the Moon. Really cool.
Certainly
cool
not to be confused with the Moon on Sucky Hall Street that's no longer with us, which was one of the wildest nightclubs of all time. It was I remember being in an argument. A few of us were in an argument, and a guy with a suit came on. We thought he was like an undercover cop, but he was a bouncer, and he told us, "Why didn't you come in, have a drink, and calm it all down over a drink, to over a pound vodka and coke." But yeah, the Moon was wild. That was not to be confused. that was like GABA Eminem remixes. But yeah, Coconuts asked, should we check out Bonk as well? Jazz funk fusion, and Ovine is more traditional jazz, where trip funk sort of thing. I don't know. Lol. Yeah. So Bonk and Ovine.
I've heard of Bonk. I've checked them out. There's some confusing onomatopoeia that surrounds this sort of scene at the moment. So you got Bonk, they're from Liverpool, and Asthma Bull, they've got a tune called Gonk, and then there's another a band from Huddersfield, I think, called Clonk, and then that links to us because we've got a song called Clank Clank. So basically, all of the onomatopoeia ending with NK is covered there. Great work, everybody.
And is there any last question for you? Is there any more bands that we should be checking out from anywhere in the world, old, new, young, old, who are maybe just a band that maybe we've not heard, that maybe our listeners haven't heard of before?
Yeah, the best musical discovery we came across recently was a band called Not Soup.
Not Soup.
Yeah,
and they're not from Nottingham.
No, from Birmingham.
Soup. Okay.
So Not Soup. Yeah, right. Yeah. When we bring it to Nottingham, that'll be the name of the title, definitely. Really cool. Like, very sort of like proper, almost like math rock riffs. Like 12-minute tunes almost, but like solid grooves and really like interesting stuff you can really sort of get entangled in, that sort of vibe. Yeah, we saw them, and it was like part of Worcester Music Festival that we played earlier this year. They played like in the top end of a record shop. But like, I think everyone was just watching them for the first time and just be like blown away. Really cool soulful vibes, a mix of soul and rock, and just stuff that you can't really describe. And that's what I like about like music that I like to discover. I like to not be able to put my finger on it. and I like to like I said before, just like be delightfully confused, and then almost like live inside the music and trying to work it out.
Do you know the bands that are supporting you on Thursday at Glasgow? Do you know?
So
they
Woody and the
local
Dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both local supports. Yeah, Woody and the Dogs. More like a melodic indie, but with some really, really cool, tasty shreddy style riffs. That's what I've heard of them so far. Doc Pixies as well. So they're kind of like more like modern psyche stuff, but very kind of hazy, lots of drony kind of vibes as well. Yeah, they sound like really, really fun people to be around as well. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. Our first time in Glasgow. Yeah,
First
hope
time
it goes
in
off with a
Glasgow.
bang.
Hopefully everybody can come out for that. I hope to be there as well. It's just Thursday night. If you're unless you're listening to us in the future, in which case you've already missed an amazing night. It was a brilliant night. We were there. Everyone was there, and it was Woody the Dogs were great. Dot Pixies were great. And Seas of Mirth were absolutely smashed it. So if you were in the future, you missed out. If you're not in the future and you're looking at your clock and it's not quite 7:30 on the 10th of October, then you still have time to get down to audio. It's just next to Central Station, easy to get to.
Yeah, it really is. We've looked at it quite in detail on the map actually today, because it's just in the Les zone. The Les zone.
The LEZ.
The Les itself. Yeah. That sounds the zone, doesn't it? Yeah.
So,
all right.
But thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to speak to you today, and I'll hopefully be at the gig on Thursday.
Yeah, man, that'd be awesome. Thanks so much, Mark. You total legend, mate.
No worries. Thank you. Bye. And that was Al from Seas of Mirth. You can already tell by the videos that it's going to be an unreal live show, so get along to it on Thursday, if you're in Glasgow, and it's also the tour's taking in Newcastle soon as well. Thank you if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitter, you're watching on Twitch. Try and go over to the YouTube channel though, because it's better if we have everyone in the same bit. And our next show, I'm not sure. I think we may have a guest tomorrow night, but I've not confirmed it yet. It was all depending on when we could do this show, so we've got that done. And thank you to the Seas of Mirth, and we'll be back very soon. Shout outs to the patrons. This show only exists because of the patrons. You can support us at patreon.com/you call that radio for bonus material, free guest lists, and discounts to Henge festivals. Thank you to Seas of Mirth. Bye.